What's happening, everybody? It's another episode of Good Brothers Community Podcast right here at Churchill Smoke Shop. Another Friday night as the weather's kind of dreary outside, but hey, we're going to make it live in here. As always, I got my right-hand man, my partner in crime, Mr. Preston Powell to the third power, Mr. Preston Powell the third.
Man, what's going on, Chad? Man, how was your week this week?
Long but good.
Just getting off spring break. Oh, no, y'all are off spring break, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Good deal.
Waiting on Easter.
We did this week, we did the La Brua Negra as the VIP cigar this week. So I'm continuing smoking on here on the Good Brothers podcast, along with one of our favorite libations for Friday night on the hill.
That's right. I got a Perdomo, 7x7. The Queen of the Hill is making her presence felt for her fine self. 7x7, big gauge, you know, one of my favorites.
So, Chad, we were talking earlier. You were telling me how eventful the week was in politics here in Mississippi. I know we had a show way back when talking about CCID and everything going on with that. Give everybody a little update of the latest you've heard on that.
Well, several things are happening. One, I saw Governor Tate Reeves put someone else that has contributed to his campaign on another commission or board. You got one guy who's been contributing to his campaign now as a member of the Gaming Commission. And then, you know, I'm like, okay, you steady trying to help your homeboys out. You steady not helping Mississippi out. I get it, but I don't want to get it.
You know, something I did see this week that Chad White, the state auditor, he did release some more emails from Brett Favre, and the emails that kind of showed that he knew where that money was coming from. Because he was asking about if he washed it through another organization, would it be, you know, would that be better? So, you know, he proved that he know where the money is coming from. So that lawsuit he got against Pat McAfee and Shannon Sharp and the state auditor looked like, you know, it was going to be a problem regardless, because I can't see why you want to go through some type of discovery on that right there.
I mean, just as a lumberjack chopped down a tree, he knew what he was doing. Yeah. Come on, man. It's inevitable. You cannot, you can evade for so long. It's time to pay the piper.
Yeah, and that time is coming up pretty fast. So we had another Friday night on the hill. One of the things I wanted to talk about this week, you know, the NCAA tournament's been going on, and of course everybody's here has been enjoying the games and whatnot.
Right.
You know, Chad mentioned earlier the weather's kind of tight out there tonight, but if you are out and about, come on, stop by, because we're doing it in the hill regardless, whatever the weather's doing outside. Now back to what we were talking about, Dr. Anthony at Jackson State. She's the interim president, you know, since the last president was forced to resign. She's actually expressed interest in getting the job. What is as a Jackson State alum, what is your take on that?
To be honest, I am 50-50. You know, she's not one to go along to get along, but there's some questions that I don't have the answers to. Mm-hmm. If people feel, especially when it comes to IHL, feel that she's a worthy candidate, I don't mind. She's a Jackson State person. Right. She's been around Jackson State a very long time. I just hope due diligence is done as far as doing a formal search. And if she's become a candidate, then hey, if she end up being it, I support her. But you know, do your due diligence. Hopefully she does the job right now as an interim that will help her be the president if that's what is in the cards.
Well, you know, one of the things I think most people don't understand is that Jackson State don't pick their president.
Right.
You know, because I have one of my boys, you know, from home from Southern. He was telling me like, man, how many presidents Jackson State has had in the last 10 years? And I said, to be fair, Jackson State don't have a huge input on them selecting who's going to be president of that university.
Well, it goes back to what I think. I could be wrong. That the state of Mississippi is still trying to take Jackson State and make a University of Mississippi at Jackson and create a University of Mississippi system the same way the state of Louisiana has in their college system as well.
Right.
I still say that. I mean, but it's sad. It's sad. But I think our contingency basis is strong enough to where we'll continue to stand up and fight for what is Jackson State University and what it is Jackson State University.
Well, you know, in Louisiana, they excluded Southern and Grambling from the university system. So that's one of the caveats they threw out there when they created that university system. But here in Jacksonville, we have Institution of Higher Learning, IHL. You know,
Right.
they make the president's decisions. And, you know, that board is what, 13 people, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And how many Jack State alums on it? I think one, maybe.
If that.
I don't think maybe one. So when you're thinking about these other universities, how they pick their presidents and stuff like that, well, they people represent are on the IHL board, so their people are picking their president. So that's the one caveat I can give Jackson State when it comes to their president. The school doesn't have a huge input in putting that together. I think they can make suggestions and stuff like that. I don't know how that really works, but I know they don't have the autonomy and they don't have control over who picks the president of Jackson State University.
Right, because you're talking about it's the same board that had Dr. Peoples dismissed, you know, back in the 80s.
Right.
You know, a very progressive president who was doing great things for Jackson State University. Helped build on that brand of what we know as the Urban University, committed to excellence, and they got rid of him. You know why? Because he was outperforming the PWIs in the state of Mississippi.
Right. That's a Jackson State heyday.
You know, if you don't believe me, go look it up. They got rid of him because he was being successful.
Right. Well, they try to say it was a forced retirement.
Yeah, forced retirement.
Yeah, forced retirement. He's been there so long, but you know, when I first got up to Mississippi, I know I was with Willie, and I actually met him. He seemed like a spry man to me. He's very, very intelligent, highly intelligent.
Cool guy. Yeah. Very, very intelligent. Yeah, very headed guy.
He's a forward thinker as well. So that's probably was his biggest asset, is that he was always thinking forward, not where he was, but where he was going.
Right, exactly.
So, you know, how soon do you think they will make a decision? Because it's not that the school is in upheaval, but you want to create more of a foundation going into the fall, and you know, at least have some direction where you're going. And the reality is, if you do bring in a new president, he has the opportunity to put his own people in place. So that leaves things. If you were they're like TC and all these people, you still have your contract, but you would like to know who you're gonna be working for.
Right. Me personally, I would like to think, since it's so late in the year, I will probably think they'll try to do it at the beginning of the new fiscal year.
So school will be August sometime?
Like July, August, something like that.
Yeah.
So by this fall, before doing football season and some other programs get started, especially you're talking about those programs that help students transition to the campus, especially you're talking about freshmen, those transfers from out of state. As well, the in-state too. We coming from the JUCO institutions as well.
Right. Because I mean, the way the university is going now, I mean, if they would have took a little bit more advantage of the time promised, but it is set to explode. I mean, with the property the school has acquired. I mean, and with some of the projects they have moving forward, the athletic programs are thriving a little bit. Because you see from what the women's basketball team is doing, and then Mo had a pretty decent year with the men's. They came on pretty late in the year, showing a lot of progress. Then you do have the standard bearer of Jackson State, is the football team. So you had other teams like the volleyball team, the softball team. Though everybody's been performing well athletically at Jackson State. So I think there's an opportunity there to try to push this thing to the next level with the right kind of leadership in place. And I think you got the leadership in the athletic department as long as Ashley is there.
I agree with that most definitely.
As long as he's there, you got the leadership in the athletic department. They will pull their weight. Now, if we can get everybody in administration to get behind them, that can be the winning the sales to push the university forward.
Because what I would love to see is Jackson State create an athletic complex like no other. We got the baseball field there, the practice field, and we get a stadium on campus. Which would be right by the baseball field. I think, man, it'll generate even much more pride that we have. It'll help expand the fan base. to help expand the brand and be right there on campus. Man, you can't beat that, man.
Well, I mean, most universities understand in this day and age that the athletic programs are the programs that put you on notice and put you out there nationally and expands your university space. And those universities that understand that, they do all they can to take advantage of that. And that's
Right.
one thing I never understood, how we missed the boat on some of that. That has got to be paramount. And what you're doing is having a successful athletic program. And Jackson State has one. And you want to put that program out there. You want to boost it out there as much as you can. That helps enrollment and everything else.
You know why? Because it's all about me, me, me. It's all about I.
Right.
That's what it's all about. It's about egotism. No, I said, like I said before, check your egos at the door. Leave them outside because there's a greater work at hand. And there's a greater day that could be had if, like you said, if everyone get on board, be on the same page, and work towards the same goal.
Yeah, it seems like that would be the obvious thing to do, but what's obvious is not obvious to everybody. I mean, I tell you all the time, I never understood why Jackson State University in the city of Jackson not joined at the hip. I mean, that perplexes me to this day. I mean, there's no way you have a premier HBCU in a black city, and that premier HBCU in the city are not married together. Shouldn't be a bad streak going toward Jackson. These things are economically done to give the entire city a boost.
I agree.
I mean, these are, I know there are personalities and all that involved, but like you just said, if you check those egos at the door, let's say, hey, rise the tide, lift our boats. So let's get this thing done.
Yeah, because right now what you're looking at is the opportunity to kill 2 and 3 birds with one stone.
Right.
If they got on one page, you're looking at economic revitalization, you're looking at reinvestment into the neighborhood as well as back into the city because people are gonna visit the campus. They got to have some place to stay, and as well as the opportunity to bring other entities in. So now you bring your tax base back based on the university.
Right, exactly.
And most college towns do that. I mean, look at old Mississippi State.
Yeah, I mean, you see some of the housing developments and condos they built in Starkville and Oxford.
My point exactly.
You can have that same activity in Jackson State if everybody get on the same page.
Right, exactly.
Everybody got their own take, and they got their own ego involved in that. I just don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me at all.
I don't either.
At all. I mean, and like I said, I understand there's a lot of nuance to some of these things, but it shouldn't be that much nuance where you can't move in that direction almost immediately.
Right. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
And hopefully, like I said, more heads together better than one. Is that how old saying how it goes? I said that right?
Huh?
2 heads are better than one.
Yeah.
I said, boy, my bad. I think both heads swag then.
Yeah, I'm about to say, a couple of jokes came to mind with that one. Well, man, what you got going on throughout this week, Chaz, coming up?
Man, just steady trying to push and drive for the semester school and try to get through the semester. My expected date of graduation from MC will be December 2024. Preparing to after that go get my specialist, but man, just continue to drive and towards them, knock out some of these goals.
Well, a couple of things we do have coming up here on the hill. Now, one thing I remind people, speaking of HBCUs, Tougaloo College is hosting the GCAC baseball tournament for the first time ever here in the city of Jackson, right here at Smithfield Stadium. So we would like to get a lot of people to come out and support the Tougaloo Bulldogs because they had a hell of a run this year.
Right.
The men's and women's basketball team won the conference, right? Then the men's team made it all the way to the semifinals of the national tournament.
Quarterfinals, semifinals? Might have been semifinals.
Might have been quarterfinals. Right. But they made a deep run in the national tournament as well.
Right.
That's a lot to be proud of. And so the baseball team is coached by one of the Good Brothers Committee, Coach Earl Sanders, and they'll be hosting the GCAC tournament this year at the end of April. I think it's April 25th to 28th, right here in Smithfield Stadium. So that'll be something that everybody should get a chance to come out and support the Lou. And
that's right, man.
Watch them do their thing.
That's right. If y'all not doing anything, come out and support the Lou, man.
Right, without a doubt. Chad, you don't like to hold them long.
That's right.
Queen of the Hill drinking beer. Now that's a rare.
That's probably the reason why it's cloudy outside.
Yeah, I actually like Angry Orchard.
Right. She's a Maker's Mark person. If y'all want some one of them. So if you want to get her a gift, give her some Maker's Mark.
You know that just really warms my heart.
Yeah.
Get us some Maker's Mark 101.
Right.
Get us some Maker's Mark 101.
Tony, what's going on, baby?
He know how to make my heart smile.
What up, what?
There's some
What's up, baby?
Maker's
Good to
Mark
see you, man. Good to see you, baby. Good to
or
see you, man.
something to eat.
Good.
Yeah.
How you feel?
Can't go wrong.
There you go.
Hey, baby.
So, guys, look, we're gonna sign off today. Y'all enjoy your Friday. Stay safe.
Be
Enjoy your
blessed.
whole weekend. Come out and see this Queen of the Hill if you like. There's always a good time guaranteed. Tad, you got anything else before we get out of here?
Man, as always, please go to the YouTube channel. First of all, to the bartender, the Queen of the Hill, Sarita. But as always, please go like, subscribe, and share the YouTube channel, Good Brothers Community Podcast, right here. Church Hill Smoke Shop, Friday nights. You want to come in, please feel free. Come talk with us. As always, we appreciate the love and support. Till next time, peace.
And give us some comments at the bottom of the video.
Leave them down below.
Let's start some discussions here.
Yeah, what y'all think about? Matter of fact, who you think the next Jackson State University president should be?
There you go.
Leave the comments down below. We appreciate y'all, man.
Y'all take care.
Peace.